the last thing my grandpa told me before he passed on was that he really enjoyed our time hunting, shooting, fishing, and doing all sorts of other things like that. And that he wouldn't trade any of that for the world. It was a fun ride while it lasted. You know, and I agree with him. I wouldn't trade any of that for the world. Those were the last words he said to me. He passed on a few weeks after that. Obviously, went back to Campbell. He left me this shotgun though, Remington 1100 semi-automatic 12 gauge. Which I haven't fired since he passed it on to me. Mainly I just wanted to keep it in the same condition it was in before he passed on, which was pretty spotless condition. But thought about that conversation we had when I had say a comment that one of the trolls had made. You know, and obviously the dude's a fucking troll. But I mean, it was an issue about me taking a 6-year-old niece shooting. And, you know, one of the things he said, well, obviously the recoil is too much or whatnot. You know, yeah, obviously you're not going to start somebody out on one of these things right here. This by no means is a beginner gun. Firearms, you see, they vary in size, in ammunition, and in the power of the cartridge that they fire. So to answer the first question, is start my niece off on this little 22. Little 22 LR, ammunition's not as cheap as it used to be, but it's still cheap. There's no recoil, and it's a nice little fun, comfortable rifle to shoot. The next one is this PS90. Now, this is obviously, you know, for a little bit more fun. The recoil, again, non-existent. Rounds are a bit more expensive, quite a bit more expensive. But it's a nice little compact carbine to shoot. Really, I mean, about the only difference between this one and the Hammerly is that this one's in a bullpup configuration, while the Hammerly is in a bit more of a traditional configuration. Now, I understand that not everyone has one of these, and not everyone can afford one of these, nor can they afford the ammunition for one of these. So my next suggestion would be more of a rifle like this, an AR-15. Ammunition's cheaper than the 5.7, which is what the PS90 shoots. It's a bit more expensive than the 22, but it's also a bit less expensive than the 5.7. This is also very configurable. You can put the stock for it for children. You know, obviously, if they have shorter, you know, this year has shorter arms, or they have longer arms, we can extend the stock out a bit, or maybe if they got mid-size, mid-size arms for children, or a little shorter arms for adults, you can put the stock in just a little bit more. So, again, recoil on this almost non-existent. This is, you know, also a good multi-purpose firearm. You can use it for home protection. You can actually use it for hunting, although check your state laws. Make sure that you're in compliance with your state laws before using one of these things for hunting. You know, but again, all around nice rifle. Second issue that troll brought up was that it was so unfair that a 6-year-old in my country could go shooting with me, but an adult touches a firearm there, that they go to jail. Well, one of the biggest ways to have prevented that would have been to oppose a lot of these, quote, sensible gun laws. You know, first thing, licensing. I can't believe people still fall for that. You know, I can't believe that anyone would support licensing to own. In fact, I can't believe anyone would support it having any more gun laws, even in the most laxed area of the United States for gun laws. It's incremental what they do. You know? But again, if you teach your kids how to shoot, if you teach them about firearm safety at a young age before they get the bad information that some of these other know-it-alls want to put out, or if they look at a video game, or a movie, or even the news, sometimes they get the wrong idea about firearms. You don't want them to have that, because it's that much harder, because now they've already got bad information ingrained, and you've got to find out what that is, and you've got to find out how to counter that. So it's always best just to get them the right information up front. Now, if you're one of those types that has a gun but doesn't believe that kids need to know about it or fire it, or handle it until they are adults, you're contributing to the problem. You're contributing to a risk of an accident, and you're contributing to possibly them becoming a gun control advocate when they grow up, or being irrationally afraid of firearms. How are you contributing to an accident? Well, you have that gun hidden away. You might have the ammunition, hidden away, or even locked up. And finally, when they come of a certain age, they find out where your gun is and your ammunition is. They live with you. It's inevitable. They find a way in that safe, which is also very possible. They get that ammo out, they get that gun out, and they start playing with it. Whereas, if you teach them how to shoot, you don't try to hide it from them. But you simply say, hey, look, I have this here. Anytime you want to touch it, or anytime you want to go hunting, or anytime you want to go shooting, or anytime you want to look at it at all, just get me first. We're going to find a time. That will solve like 90% of your problems right there. If the child's actually gone out and fired, I'm not necessarily talking about like a Desert Eagle or anything like that, one of your smaller caliber guns, and and they actually get a chance to see at the impact that it makes, they're going to take your words a lot more seriously than if you say, oh, don't do that, you can kill somebody, or don't do that, you can hurt somebody, or that's a no-no. Even worse is, that's a no-no, you don't touch that, that's not yours. But yeah, that's going to contribute to the curiosity a little bit more. Again, you don't want the kids afraid of a gun. I hear this fallacy all the time. Well, everyone, when they're handling firearms should be good and scared. No, they shouldn't. It's a fallacy. They need to have an understanding of what that firearm can do if you misuse it. And they need to always be conscious, alert, and aware when they have that firearm or when they're handling that firearm. They don't need to have an irrational fear of it. They don't need to have even the slightest bit of fear of it. Let's see, what was the third one he said? Oh, and it was irresponsible for me to take my 6-year-old niece out shooting. Well, I think it's the most responsible thing I've done. And I think I just countered that in the previous point. Alright, rest of everyone else, look, you know, if you have kids, don't deprive them of that experience. Take them hunting, take them fishing, take them shooting guns, you know? You have a friend that, doesn't own a gun, hadn't fired a gun before in their life, you know? Take them out to go shoot, you know? I've had people who have either only touched a gun once in their life, and I'm not even sure they were being truthful with me when they said that, or people who've never touched a gun before going out shooting and enjoyed it. Or, you know, I've had some people, my roommate's wife's stepfather went out shooting with me one time, you know, because he was in town visiting visiting my roommate's wife. You know, of course, I guess his wife is my roommate too, so. But anyway, it'll be the first time in years he's handled a gun. We went out shooting, you know, me and another girl I was, well, not necessarily dating, but, you know, hanging out with. Me, him, and her all went out to the range and shoot, you know. That's what I do when everyone's there, you know. When I want to go to the range, I invite people to come along with me. Went out and shot, you know, right? We get back, about 30 minutes after I'm back, right? Dude's wife comes up to me. Thanks a lot. Now you won't stop talking about getting a gun. But that's what you gotta do, guys. I mean, that's one of the things that you guys have got to do. You know, because there are people that want to take this experience away. Now, the reasons may vary some. Maybe it's an irrational fear of firearms. Maybe it's the fact that they really are control freaks. I've met quite a few of those types, actually. You know, maybe that they're generally unhappy people, and because they're unhappy, they got to go and take away somebody else's happiness. You know? Or maybe they believe the BS that having a gun makes your home more dangerous. Who knows? You know? Well, they vary person to person, and eventually you'll figure it out, but who cares why? You're not going to convert those people. So what we need to do is to start getting these people who are on the fence, and you'd be amazed at how many different people are on the fence on this issue. Just take them out and go shoot. You'd be amazed at how many people actually have a great time and how much influence you can have just by doing that. Just by taking them out shooting, taking them out fishing, taking them out hunting. Alright, guys. Well, that's all I have. Feedback is always appreciated. Comments, rate the video. If you like it enough, subscribe. But other than that, y'all take her easy now.